G'day guys, John from Making Tracks 4x4 here, and today I've got Nash and his highlights, and we'll be doing a quick review on the Adventure Kings fold-out rooftop tent. Nash is going to give you a bit of insight to what it's like to own one of these.
Yeah, so I've had the Kings rooftop tent for approximately 1 year long now. I purchased it for $650 in new from the Kings store. I've done various trips in the tent, ranging from 1 night's sleep to approximately about 10 nights. Other than that, that's about it for the tent. It's approximately a double-sized mattress. I'm 5'7", so anyone taller than that, close to 6 foot, I'd be worrying a little bit about the size and about fitting into the tent. But for me, it's pretty much perfect. So the main reason why I went down the avenue of buying a rooftop tent was mainly to get off the ground and out of the sand, just due to the fact that we do most trips on the beach and in sand terrain, and my biggest pet peeve was letting sand blow into the mattress, and I would hate it when I was trying to go to sleep and having that feeling of sand. So that was the main reason of getting the rooftop tent, and I think the Shark Bay trip that we did almost a year and a half ago was my trigger almost of buying the rooftop tent. The reason why I specifically got the Kings rooftop tent was just in case if I didn't like the rooftop tent setup, I didn't want to go and buy something really expensive. So the Kings rooftop tent was the cheapest on the market. So one of the biggest questions about this style of rooftop tent is the setup time and the pack up time. So let's give it a go, and I'll put the timer on and see how long it takes me to set it up. And that's it. So obviously now you can see with the tent open, it has 2 different layers to it. Firstly, that bottom layer of canvas, and then on top of that is kind of a weather shield waterproofing layer. Since owning the tent, I've had no problems of water leaking into my mattress and also into my bedding. In saying that, also I haven't camped in torrential rainpour. But what I have done is camped a couple nights in small light rain. Also, along with that, it comes with kind of a small awning that comes off the entrance. What you can actually buy through Kings is an annex that comes down, and you can actually sleep people at the bottom of the stairs if you choose to. If I can help it though, I wouldn't actually peg this awning down. I would actually just kind of leave it there, just because I'm a bit lazy. But obviously if it's a bit windy, you definitely have to, just to stop it rustling around. Alright, so we're inside the tent now, and as you can see, it's quite spacious. I'm just sitting up here, I'm not even in the middle of the tent. I can just easily sit up. So the first thing I did when I bought the tent, I bought the mattress topper, or the eggshells, just to go with it, and that was the first thing I did even before I had my first night's sleep in it. So I haven't really tested it without the eggshells in it, but with the eggshell and the mattress that it comes with, it's been really awesome actually. Some nights are better sleep in here than my actual bed at home. Along with that, this is how it pretty much folds out. It comes with the elastics on the side, so as you kind of fold it in and out, it pulls the sides in of the canvas so it doesn't poke out. They're easy to unclip when they're open, but besides that, this is pretty much how it comes. You've got a door through there, a door through behind me, and also 2 windows on the side. Along with that, we also have the air vents up the top here on both sides. In my experience, they don't really do too much. I have slept in this this tent before with all the windows up, canvas up, everything shut down, just because it was really cold, and I woke up the next morning with condensation all along the roof and along the sides. So in my opinion, the vents at the top don't really do too much. Along with that, condensation is probably the biggest problem with one of these tents. Every morning that I've kind of woken up, I've found that there's quite a lot of moisture underneath the mattress between the bottom board and the mattress. So whenever I wake up in the morning, I do have to fold the mattress up just so I can let it air out and dry before I pack it up. When I do pack it up, normally I do have my sheet, my doona and all my pillows in here, and I've never really had a problem with fitting all of that in here while I'm packing up. As you may see, I've also got some lights here that I've installed myself. These are just from King's, just from the shelf. You can strap them up yourself and put them into your cigarette lighter. I've got a nice little switch here, nice little dimmer. That just helps in the middle of the night trying to find things. Along with that, also I've installed a USB socket just to charge up the phone during the night as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
So, bit of a Q&A. How does it go in the wind?
It's probably the worst part about this tent is how much noise and how much flappiness it kind of has in a pretty strong breeze. If it's quite subtle or a kind of medium of a breeze, I don't really hear anything. I can kind of sleep all the way through it. But if it really does pick up, and some nights on the coast it can pick up, it's probably the worst feature about it. As you can probably see, I've kind of had to strap that top layer down as tight as possible just to avoid that flappiness. But unfortunately, just the nature of the beast, you can't really get away.
So that's it, because it's so big. There's not a whole lot you can do as far as tying everything down and putting pegs in. There's not a lot you can do if it's going to get really windy.
Not really, no. Yeah, it's just you got to strap it all down as tight as possible. Just there is some little bit of give in some parts of that top layer, but that's about it, really.
Yeah. So what about value for money? How'd you rate it?
Awesome. Look, I firstly set out with this product kind of just getting it because it was cheap, and I just wanted to try out camping in a rooftop tent. Like I've said, I've had it for a year now. I've had no functional problem with it, besides a little bit of condensation here and there. It's just things you can work around, and I suppose most tents have it as well. But value for money, it's awesome. I reckon it's great. It's lasted me a good year. Nice long trips as well, in rain, sunshine, everything you can kind of camp in. So
I guess that it's definitely a much better budget option, especially like you were saying before with if you don't know if you want the product and you're kind of trialing out, then that's perfect for that.
It's a great one just to start off kind of with the rooftop tent.
Obviously it's you and Sarah in the tent all the time. If you're by yourself, would you recommend people get it over a swag?
Look, we do go away with down south maybe for 1 or 2 night trips just to go for a little bit of surfing. And in those times when I'm by myself just for 1 or 2 nights, I probably wouldn't bother with the rooftop tent. I'd probably prefer to get just a small single swag, just easy to roll out and to crash into.
A bit more effort.
Yeah.
Just by yourself.
But previous to this rooftop tent, I did have the double swag, so Sarah and I were both in that. And moving now to this rooftop tent, it's so much more spacious. It's just a lot more room to get changed, to you feel like you're in a proper bed in one of these.
It's like you're saying before, you're off the ground.
Yeah.
You're kind of away from the elements, which is
But
always nice to have.
But yeah, that's the thing. If I was just by myself for a one night trip, I wouldn't bother with the rooftop tent. I'd probably just prefer to bring a swag, to be in all honesty.
So how do you reckon this goes on long trips? You know, like the big trips, like when we went down Esperance.
Yeah.
How did you find this as far as a long time spending it?
Yeah. It was good. I think for those couple days that we kind of stayed in one spot and just kind of set camp down, just chilled out for a couple nights. It was great because I didn't need to worry about setting it down, setting it up all the time and stuff, and that's almost perfect. But obviously for those days that we kind of have to wake up, have breakfast, set it all down and then drive off and then set it back up that afternoon, it does kind of get a bit painful after a few days. But that's kind of what it comes with a rooftop tent.
Yeah, that's it. It's kind of the pros and cons with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get some, you lose some. Just rattle off a couple of pros and cons. Some of the best things and the worst things about having this.
For this specific product, one of the biggest pros is just probably the value for money. I know a lot of other competitive products are around that 1,000 upward range. Seeing as this was nearly close to half the price of other products, it's lasted me great for over a year. I haven't really had any problems with it. Other than that, yeah, just generally rooftop tents. I love getting off the sand now, avoiding all that sand kind of being swept into the swag. Some general cons with this product is probably mainly this bottom layer of the tent has started to kind of separate from the base. Another con would definitely be the Velcro straps on this product. I've found that the straps that you kind of tie down onto the sides here are really horrible. Just the Velcro's worn out in probably 2 to 3 months of just general use. It just breaks down and doesn't really doesn't really work anymore. Obviously you can kind of bike helmet strap it down, but yeah, the Velcro doesn't really work anymore.
And just for people that kind of have the ute set up as well, can you just run through how you kind of got this on and how you structured it a bit?
Well, previously to wanting to buy this specific tent, I did obviously look at the clam style setup, or the quickie kind of the pop up straight up kind of setup. I went down this specific road with that kind of bracket just so I can kind of have the tent lowered in the tray, just to avoid a bit of wind resistance when we're going along the highway.
The drag.
Yeah. So the way I did it was in the old garage with my old man. We just kind of went to the steel shop, got some steel beams, welded it up, so it kind of fits on the flatbed of the tray and connects to the headboard of the tray. It just easily bolts on, and it's just really good and easy to take off as well at the same time.
Yeah. So just on that note of drag, do you find when you didn't have this on compared to when you do now, do you find that there's a fair bit of difference, going on the highway around 100?
Look, there's probably not too much of a difference. Like, I think there is a little bit of difference in terms of the weight, and the weight obviously being quite high, especially being a steel kind of bracket that I've built on top of that. When I do take it off for general kind of use around going to the shops or something like that, I do feel a big difference in terms of just mobility around corners and acceleration. But on the highway going at 100, no, not really, not too much of a difference. Another con would definitely be the waterproof tape that goes along the canvas stitching on the inside of the tent.
Yeah, runs along the seams along here.
Yeah, pretty much everywhere you can see stitching.
Yeah.
Obviously that's there just to avoid water coming into the tent. After a couple months, you could see that it was in parts slowly starting to come off the canvas and peel off. Obviously a year down the track there are parts that have come off, and other parts that have kind of opened up as well. But in all honesty, I haven't really had a problem with water coming into the tent from rain, so I don't see that as kind of an issue.
But we, when we had the King's Quickie on the trooping a while back, that's actually something that happened with us.
Yeah.
So after a couple of months, the stitching was just peeling back.
To summarise the whole product, if someone had to ask me would I recommend this tent, definitely. I think great value for money, really cheap, and yeah, I really do love it. It's kind of held up to the year that I've had it. I've never had any functional problem with it, and yeah, I'm not looking to get rid of it at all. So
yeah. You wouldn't go back. Yeah, you're stuck on it. You're happy with it.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that kind of comes across my mind quite a lot is going back to a swag. And look, I have no reason to go back to a swag now. I can put up with the pack up time, the setup time. I think that's being off the ground is just 10 times better than being on the ground.
Absolutely. Alright, Nash, well, thank you for that insight into the King's Rooftop tent. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just comment them below and we'll get to answering them as quickly as we can. And also, if you enjoyed this review video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you guys see anything that we're using as far as products go, especially King's products, and you want to know a bit more about them, feel free to just ask and we can look into getting more review videos going. So I think that's all from me. How about you, Nasho?
Yeah, thanks.
Yep, all good. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.